Hey guys, what's going on? So, the League Start build guide is done. It's out there for everyone and anyone to see. It's in your hands. Do with it what you will. As you can imagine, getting a lot of comments, a lot of whispers in the community talking about it. A lot of people in the Discord. Come by the Discord if you have any questions on it. And I am getting a lot of questions. I'm a little bit surprised. Naturally, you know, a little bit of pushback here and there about a few different things, but one form of pushback on my guide is kind of stands above the other ones, and I didn't really see it coming too much anyway. It is about the leveling skill gem of choice. Poisonous Concoction is my leveling skill gem of choice. I absolutely intend to run it myself, and I built in a leveling portion of the guide, which most people are aware of. Very, very comprehensive guide, because, you know, you don't run Poison Tornado Shot immediately. You need some decent skill to level with. And people quite often asking, well, can I run something else? Yeah, absolutely. Toxic Rain, typically the one. Very good choice. But what about Poisonous Concoction? Why is everybody so down in the dump about it? It did get nerfed. Obviously, it got nerfed. But I think people are overestimating just how bad it is, in my opinion. So I don't really know the answer 100% for sure because I haven't played it in 3.21. But we're going to explore that question a little bit here. And I'm very, very fortunate today because I wasn't necessarily going to make a video, but there's a bit of a deadline. You guys might know that the league is ending right now. And not just the league is ending, but something else is ending that absolutely nobody cares about. And that is Ruthless with gold. And it's not getting a character transfer. Well, it just so happens that I have a Ruthless with gold character. It's a Poisonous Concoction character. And it just so happens that character is level 89. And it just so happens that my guide actually explicitly built into the tabs suggests level 89 as the point in which you switch. So I got to thinking, why don't I just test it right now? Since I can just test it, right? I can literally just recreate the nerfs myself, the hard way. So let's explore that a little bit, shall we? As you can see, I have a double-barreled PoB staring you down right in the face here this whole time as we talk. This is exactly what I've been looking at for the entire past week. Exactly the kind of screen I've been looking at. Not one, but two PoBs. On the right-hand side is my current Ruthless with Gold Poisonous Concoction character, completely filled out properly. With, you know, it does get like endurance charges, frenzy charges, power charges, enemies blinded, withered stacks are there. And on the left-hand side is the League Start guide. And I even tailor-made it specifically, you know, even configured it specifically for the Poison Concoction character. It comes out to around 4 million DPS on the left and about 5.5 million DPS on the right. Now, they're not the exact same character, of course, but they have the exact same distribution of passive skill points. And, you know, where I put them is a little bit differently. But let's go in and kind of see what is going on here. So let's check out the trees here. And again, left-hand side is the build guide's suggestion. And you can see, obviously, I got most of my inspiration from my experience in Ruthless with Gold. So you should feel somewhat, hopefully, you feel somewhat confident in my choice of how I went about leveling it. Because this is a character I leveled in Ruthless with Gold. And best rest assured, leveling in Ruthless with Gold with a 3.20 Poisonous Concoction character is going to be more challenging than leveling in 3.21 with a Poisonous Concoction character, all things considered, because it's Ruthless, and it was much more challenging. But as you can see, the ascendancies are very similar. Although in Ruthless, you can't even get a fourth ascendancy pair of points, so that's kind of sucks, doesn't it? But it looks very much the same, and yeah, there's the points there, so you can kind of get an idea. You can explore that. I will link both of these PoBs in the description below. So, what are the actual nerfs? Well, mainly it has to do with Nature's Reprisal. You see over here, it gets damage converted to chaos, and more chaos damage, 15%, and then increased area of effect. And area of effect is actually kind of profound here. Over here, I get baked in withered into the build and increased effect of wither. Now, absolutely no question in my mind, if I just had to choose between these 2 points, and that's all there was to it, I would choose the new version in a heartbeat. It's going to make all the difference in the world in the campaign leveling portion of the guide. Now, You guys might be asking a little bit more. You might be curious about what's the leveling like and stuff. Honestly, I'm not that I'm definitely not worried about the campaign. Level with any skill, busted or broken. Any skill is easy to level with and get through the campaign relatively quickly. For me, I'm much more concerned about the later stages of that build and what it's capable of doing. And I think that I probably speak for most people. When what we're really concerned about is how does it fare once we start getting into yellow and red maps, and especially high tier red maps. And that's what I want the focus to be on, just to, for added clarity on that. But yeah, you can see that there is no more increased AoE and no more chaos damage. But obviously, the Withered stacking quality of life, not to mention the increased effect of Withered, is going to more than make up for this loss of the damage here. But the area of effect is a big deal, because the typical link, which I can show you right here, the typical link features greater multiple projectiles and greater volley. That gives you a total of 9 projectiles. They're somewhat spread apart. Greater volleys, very condensed. Greater multiple projectiles forks them out a little bit. And then, this is basically the top end 6 length that you can have there. It's got 9 projectiles. It's 1 plus 4 plus 4. And that's part of where this number gets so big from. For poison, extra projectiles is very strong, and Poisonous Concoction doesn't have a weapon or anything. You're just throwing your flask, which you can see my life flask is thrown here, also being calculated into there. All right, so in trying to explore some of the differences took place, we have to understand that many tests have been done before by various content creators, and even with 30% increased area of effect, you're not really hitting, you're not hitting single target all 9 projectiles, unless it's a very large hitbox character. But, for mapping, it's good, and you're getting a lot of hits on there. But the loss of 30% AoE is a huge deal, actually, because it's going to basically drop you from somewhere around 7 or 8 enemies hit, in a single target scenario, as 7 to 8 hits per projectile on average, to somewhere around 4 to 5, okay? So, pretty big loss there. And definitely worth mentioning. That is the first major nerf, in my opinion, is the loss of 30% AoE very early on in the campaign, and extended all the way late into maps, because you don't get any more AoE. The only other reasonable place you're going to find AoE is either through an increased area of effect support gem, which means you're sacrificing another gem, which might be worth considering, or more likely a quality on your Poisonous Concoction. You can actually get some AoE back through just qualitying up your Poisonous Concoction gem. Not going to do that super early in the campaign when it doesn't really matter, but yeah, once you start getting into yellow and red maps, you're going to outfit yourself, definitely going to want to outfit yourself with a qualityed up Poisonous Concoction gem there. You can see another major change is that this node, Nature's Boon, got shifted over to Nature's Adrenaline. So basically no change there. Slight nerf from the other thing. Magic Utility Flask have increased effect, so that'll be kind of nice. I decided not to go ahead and take this note for the Poisonous Concoction variation. And the other one's Master Toxicist, exactly the same, I believe. So essentially, long story short, you lost all of your increased AoE. All 30% gone. The other major... Oh, and then you picked up, Withered. But in the case of my character here, I already had Withered because I was actually using Divergent Poisonous Concoction, which gives me almost the same thing. It doesn't give me the extra powerful Withered, but it gives me 20% chance to Wither on 2 seconds, for 2 seconds per hit. And this one here gives an extra 5% chance, so technically 25% better, with much more powerful with it. So do keep that in mind. There is a nerf and a buff taking place here at once. The buff primarily is in the form of quality of life, however. All right, and especially huge early on in the campaign when you wouldn't have had a Wither in any other way, except like spell totems and weird stuff like that. All right, another loss is the poison duration. So we lost some poison duration. I believe it's like 30%, somewhere around there. Right here, poison duration mastery, 20% increased poison duration. Well, we don't have that anymore. Don't have it anymore. It's not even on the list. So poisons deal damage faster. Actually not that great, but all right, worth picking up. So a loss there. And then yeah, so the other big factor is life flasks are now going to be using up 1 charge per projectile as opposed to just 2 charges all the time. Now, so if you were throwing just 1 projectile, you'd actually use less life. But nobody's going to do that because the extra projectiles give tons of damage. So that is another major nerf there. The reliability of the life flask, or having to build more life flasks into your build, or maybe even both, still come to question. And that is actually the nerf that most people are talking about. And it kind of bewilders me because I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And I want to kind of show you what I mean by using the PoB as a sort of apples-to-apples comparison. First, let's go ahead and just remove this. So if I just remove this ascendancy right here, let's see what happens to my damage. See, I lost a fair bit of damage there, right? If I go ahead and remove this here, you can kind of see it go down there. It's starting to get closer to what it actually looks like, right? But, you know, we need to take this a step further if I want to kind of replicate what's going on here, because you'll notice that this character has a 5 link, right? 5 link and only level 18 gems, actually. I forgot about that. No greater multiple projectiles. So I am suggesting to people that use Poisonous Concoction, Greater Volley, Unbound Ailments, Void Manipulation, Vicious Projectiles, and then probably Deadly Ailments as the 6th one at the end. Is also pretty strong, and it so happens we did get a buff in the form of multi-shot, I guess. So we do get an extra projectile back, so that's why it's 6 and not 5. 1 plus 4 plus 1 equals 6, and over here we got 9. You know what? Let's go ahead and drop that down to 5. You know, we'll just unequip the greater multiple projectile support, and then I have basically the same link. Actually, a 5 link now, exactly the same. And wow, what just happened to my damage? So what you're seeing here is sort of the result of a character that's just not geared quite as well, and also made some slightly different choices on the tree that kind of result in less damage. Like, for example, not getting wasting, for example, and the well, I mean, this mastery is obviously going to be amazing over here for recovery, but there's no super strong mastery over here. 20% increased effective withers, all right, I guess. And I decided to go up here for some more defenses, like Ghost Dance and stuff, because I was trying to level on there. But you'll see with the items, things actually look pretty similar here. Using Malagaro's Cruelty for increased life, some stats. Aggressive Bastion will be easy to anoint on there. Feel kind of good about actually anointing it. A strong anoint if you check it out. 10% increased damage for poison per frenzy charge. That's going to be 3 or 4 frenzy charges, and then power charge, increased duration there. It's going to be kind of big. Actually a little better than it used to be, because increased duration is more of a premium stat now. Leper's Alms essentially gives you elemental ailment immunity, quasi. You still get frozen a bit, but basically anytime you suffer elemental ailment immunity, next hit that you deal jujitsu's at all of the ailments that you sort of have, and it puts it on the enemy. So actually you begin shocking and chilling and freezing enemies. Ironically, it's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's actually way more reliable than expected, and that's why I have it in the guide. Very cheap, and also comes with a huge amount of evasion, which is super nice, and a lot of energy shield, and some decent block and some life, and oh yeah, 40% increased duration of ailments on enemies. What? And this shield is really cheap, and it's even cheap in Ruthless, which is crazy. All right, but sporting rare helmets here. Cherubim's Maleficent, not the greatest chest, but, you know, I mean, like, Covenant's way better. But, you know, we're talking about League Start scenario here. Similar there. Asena's Gentle Touch is like the one thing that my other character has on it. My character over here on the left still has, you can still get Temp Chain, just self-casting it, or in my case, cast some damage taken. I got some weird Magic Find items like Highwayman, Sundance, Le Hup, and Bisco's, because it's Ruthless and magic finding was a big deal there. Over here we honestly got some better choices, definitely some stronger choices overall. The Wretch is pretty dang solid for that there. Yeah, although reduced flask charges gained during effect could be painful, so I might reconsider that one, but I don't know, we'll see. And then I have, you know, a pretty good Divine Flask, not quite as good, but also two perfectly rolled Divine Flasks would be the optimal setup here. Also an Onslaught Flask. The character on the right does not have Onslaught because I didn't go for Onslaught since it didn't even give me movement speed. Still gives attack speed, still pretty good. Double Quicksilver over here with a Sulfur still, and then Sulfur over here, but it's a magic, so it's a little better. And yeah, that kind of tells you where we're at there. So we're starting to see a comparison, right? Starting to get a pretty good idea what's going on here. I know this video is going to be a little long, but trust me, it's going to be worth it in the end. You should stick around and see all of it. All right. You know what? Since people are just so crazy concerned about the life flask situation, here is the real deal about this. Did you know that Poisonous Concoction still works if you don't have any life flask charges? It's not the end of the world, all right? It's a very, very strong skill, very powerful. Obviously, the best part about it is leveling through the campaign, but it's still pretty strong all the way through white and yellow maps. What happened if I just remove the flask here? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I lost like 30, 35. I lost a third of my damage. It's just the end of the world, right? It's just the end of the world. Let's do it over here, too. What happens? Wow. So as you can see, my Ruthless character is a fair bit weaker than my other character. Now I've reconstructed the path of building in my Ruthless character to match the changes that are going to take place in the game, although not counting the withered thing. Obviously not counting that. So that's definitely some added power back there. But everything else is pretty much the same. I'm kind of double checking things, and there's no other sort of major differences going on here. I do get one more frenzy charge. It would obviously be a smart idea to add a frenzy charge here for the synergy with the amulet, but everything down the bottom left is good. Some really good nodes down here, by the way, especially if your shield is pretty good like the one listed. All right, and right, you know, obviously go from 4 major ascendancy notables to 2. Okay, so well, that's not the end of the video, guys. Not the end of the video. You know me, I like to go above and beyond. Check out where I'm at. We're on the last 5 hours of Ruthless with Gold, and so who cares? I'm going to do the unthinkable. I am going to remove Nature's Reprisal. I am going to remove, I already did, remove Greater Multiple Projectile Support. There you go. You can see evidence right there. And I'm even going to remove my life flask. Oh, look, some gold. Now, I think we can all agree that I have just stunted myself a great deal here and have taken on any and all nerfs that exist to the upcoming Pathfinder. With gear that is, you know, I mean, I've seen this Gentle Touch, obviously a little bit of a stretch to call this, you know, early leveling gear, obviously. But again, the main benefit here, at least for demonstration purposes, will be the temp chains, and you can just self-cast that or cast when damage taken. It's not the end of the world. So I have actually not too bad here. I still got all these maps. Look at all these maps here. You guys think Ruthless is that hard? It's not that hard. Let's see. We got my Atlas tree. They are removing time dilation. It's going to be kind of a big deal to remove that. But I am trying to do a little bit of Exarch altar farming with just trying to get maps, obviously. Oh, yeah, I have even Eater of Worlds. I forgot about that. It's kind of weird. Just doing both. Trying to save points, I guess. Let's go ahead and put Exarch on there for funsies. A T15 Grotto map will serve as a nice presentation, I think, for what the hell is happening to the Pathfinder in the next league. So, again, the comparison, we're looking at the difference here of roughly 1.6 million versus 2.5 million. Whatever you see in this map, and I haven't ran a map like this yet, so I don't even know 100% sure what's about to happen. But whatever you see in here, you can pretty well rest assured that I'm going to be doing about 50% more DPS than what you see here, based on the guide here. That's if you ripped out your life flask and everything, and no AOE. No AOE on this character. Not even on the gem. So that's also a bit of a lie here too, because I had to use the alternate quality to get Wither onto it, which I'm getting in the future. Normally I would obviously have some AOE from the standard quality gem here. Anyway, we're going above and beyond here. Let's see what happens. Oh! Well, stuff's dying. Not bad. Well, this is T15, right? Only 5 projectiles? I'll have 6 projectiles next time. Whoa! Whoa! Oh man, not a good altar, that sucks. Now, to be fair, this is a pretty easy map, but this is Ruthless. Monsters deal 15% extra fire fizz. It's extra fire, cold, and lightning, and they have 10% chaos with. I mean, there's just all kinds of additional variables at play here that is making this build weaker than the other one. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to change my aura mastery over to damage. Hey, a T16 map in Ruthless. Wow, that's not supposed to happen. Oh well. So we get a lot of rares, we get a lot of magic monsters, and yeah. Again, if you want to see what's going on, I'm going to link the PoB. I'm going to link the proper PoB, you know, before I started editing it and everything. I'm going to link that to you guys in the video description. And there you go. I mean, temp chains is strong. It ain't that strong, though. It would just be self-casting it anyway. Hey, what's this? This guy's extra life. He's taking forever to kill. Oh, no. All right. Oh, here's the boss. Here's the boss. All right, let's see what happens. Maybe I just die. I don't know. Man, I got such garbage flasks. Don't even have a life flask. So it's almost like, well, wait a minute. Why am I doing damage? I'm not using any flask charges. In fact, I better not take too much damage. I can't actually use a flask right now. Obviously, not cheating here at all. Trying to play a little extra safe because I obviously can't use life. What? Wow. Oh yeah, the boss was harder because I took the Eldritch mod. I forgot about that. Wow. Okay. Anybody want to play Ruthless? It's kind of fun. Not gonna lie. Hey, there is a. What do we call him again? Rogue Exile. I'm spec for Rogue Exile. It's actually kind of fun in Ruthless. They drop tons of stuff. It's gonna drop a full set of gear. Might actually get some. Like maybe a unique out of here. It's the highest chance of getting a unique item. It's from these guys. Oh, well, some chromes, I guess. Oh yeah, and a six-socketed chest. So you guys know how Grotto goes. It's just kind of ring around the rosy here. Just finish this out. Suppose I'll finish out the map properly. I think I've pretty well told the story, though. So yeah, you know, I quite often test things before I do it, but you know, the question was genuine. Is Poisonous Concoction bad? Now, I don't know. You know, I haven't played it, and I have not. This is literally the first time I've done this test. This was one take. Just did the test. Wanted to see what would happen at the same time as you guys did. So, surprise, surprise, Poisonous Concoction is still pretty good. If you just want to Eldritch Altar farm, which is what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm racing straight. I'm also answering the question, what do you plan on, how do you plan on making currency immediately at the very start of the league? I plan to race all the way up to red maps and start doing probably Searing Exarch farming on Jungle Valley or Crimson Temple maybe, and I'm going to unlock my Alice by taking Wandering Path, which actually is a totally different keystone in the regular game, which will duplicate, you know, map duplication nodes and increased effect modifiers nodes. Makes the map harder, but the sustain is good. Completely ignore league mechanics until I'm ready to start farming with Poison Tornado Shot, probably. Here we go, you know, some maps, some other stuff. You know, my gear is not very good. I didn't even get the right Eldritch Implicits yet. Oh, I did have some area of effect. I forgot. Oh, wow, okay. I'm kind of mimicking some area of effect there. I forgot I have it on my helmet, so that's nice. But anyway, we're going to close this character out. Yeah, I guess I should probably put my stuff back on here, because I'm going to have to re-pull the... I can't do that. Yeah, here's everything. I even had, I actually had Anomalous Greater Multiple Projectiles. It's a better one. Pretty nice. Okay, kind of put everything back where it was. I don't even remember if that's everything. I think that's everything. So yeah, this is what it looks like. You can see, kind of, that the projectile... Let me look at this. The projectiles are a lot more spread out. Okay? Definitely a bit more. And you can actually, like, run lesser volley on top of greater volley and then get really constricted in. Might be a way to go. Also, increased area of effect might be possibly good. I don't know. We'll see. There are a lot of options there. You know, if you want to run Toxic Rain Pathfinder, that's a great choice. It's going to be a great choice. Zizarin made a video. There's a lot of other great guides out there for that. But for anyone out there who is really, really down in the dump about Poisonous Concoction, oh, they've ruined my precious skill. Guys, this was a case of an outrageously overpowered leveling skill gem that got nerfed moderately and is now just overpowered. It went from outrageously overpowered to just overpowered. Didn't need any kind of special gear to really make the build do anything crazy, you know, get your hands on all that stuff. So that's it. I just want to, you know, simmer down. Poisonous Concoction is going to be fine, and I am, especially based on what I just saw right here, I'm going to leave it in. Definitely going to leave it in. I don't regret it at all. What you saw right there, you know, worst case scenario, we're going to be seeing roughly 50% more DPS compared to what you just saw, because you're going to have a very, very strong wither, and you're going to have, you know, there are a few other things to take into account, and you're obviously going to have life flask charges up some of the time, whether you want to or not. Anyway, that's it for the video. Keep on commenting, sharing the love, talk about the build guide, get it out there. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And I really appreciate the reception I've been getting from most of you guys. I will be streaming live on Twitch tomorrow after releasing this video, I think. Got many more things to talk about. Maybe I'll go into a little bit more detail about some possible concerns about the gear, like especially like Dark Scorn and Xerxes. We'll talk a little bit about that. I think if I can get another video out like that, that will address, I will really cover all my bases there. But definitely, I think, just covered my ass on Poisonous Concoction for sure, I believe. You let me know what you think in the comment section. See you in the next video.